Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for BroadwayWorld. Up next for Second Stage Theater is Tony Award winner Steven Levenson's new play, Days of Rage. Under the direction of Trip Cullman, it begins performances on October 9th, and we drop by the rehearsal room to meet the company.
Well, I was always fascinated by the 60s. And, you know, in this period specifically, I was really fascinated by the idea of this moment in time when people in this country, especially young people, felt that the world, A, needed to be changed fundamentally, and B, that it was actually possible to do that. And that seems like such a distant idea in some ways, and I think now that's beginning to feel less and less like a distant idea as you see young people around the country really taking things into their own hands, pushing back against, you know, policies and institutions that are, you know, anathema to them. But it feels like a moment of great hope on the one hand and great idealism, and also, you know, there's a lot of human conflict and drama and tragedy, and, you know, it's all of those things.
It's great. I worked with Trip once before in Williamstown doing Moscow, a lot of Moscows in the title, and he's just so super easy, and it really doesn't feel like coming to work. I mean, we're working really hard, and it's super hard, and we're very serious actors, but it is a lot of fun.
Well, it's just been actually like really, really wonderful. I mean, this is a group of very, very smart, dedicated actors. Obviously, Trip Cullman at the helm is a gift for everyone, and Steven just with brilliant writing as usual. So this is our third week of rehearsals, our last week of rehearsals before we go into tech. And it's just been a very collaborative, wonderful, dedicated experience and a lot of fun. We all are very much fascinated by this time and this piece, and everybody's very, very committed and having a very good time doing it when working on it.
I just thought that there was a punchiness to the writing that is so evident in Steven's work, which just makes it extremely natural to read. You can kind of see it all take place as you read it. Not only that, but clearly his success with Dear Evan Hansen was kind of like, okay, well, you know, I guess he's got my back. And just, I love the theme of the play. I love a play about young people in the 1960s discovering their political ideals.
This is by far one of the most talented groups that I've worked with before. It's not often, for me anyway, that I get to work with my peers, you know, so working with people who are all in the same age group and everyone who are really taking huge leaps forward in their careers at this point. So it's just the adrenaline in the room is amazing, and the skill level that is in the room is amazing as well. You just learn so much from each other and from Trip, and having Steven in the room, it's nothing like having a living playwright.
I read through the play, I blew through it in an hour, and it just felt so timely to what's going on right now. And you know, I had an uncle who fought in Vietnam, so I knew a little bit about that time. But to read it and to feel like, oh my God, if you just replaced a few words, it felt like I was reading about now. I feel very committed as an actor right now to be working on material that is speaking to our country right now, just because I feel like I have to do something, and that's something I can do. So the second I read it, I was like, I have to do whatever I can to be in this play.
So the Weather Underground and many radical groups had these things called criticism sessions where they would spend like 4 hours, 5 hours, 7 hours every day, like grappling with these issues with each other and wrestling it through, and they were agonizing and horrifying. Like, I feel like the rehearsal process is the like healthy version of that. Like, we're all engaged and we're all collectively trying to shape this and figure out what the story is and how best to portray it. And like, I can't think of more amazing group of actors to be partnered with, and a more open collaborator as Steven is. So it's like, even though what we're addressing has so much anguish in it, there's so much joy in the attack on it. So that is, to me, always the ideal of what kind of room I always want to be in. And so I'm in it, and so therefore I'm a happy guy.